What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with some Raid Shadow Legends, and we are on the main account today. We're going to be talking about Clan Boss. We have made some pretty big changes to our Clan Boss team and have started doing a lot more damage. So we're going to kind of get into that today, talk a little bit about the new team comp we're running, which is basically the same comp we had before. We just made one major change to it. And as I always like to do, let's go ahead and start off by just checking out the Great Hall. This kind of gives you an idea where my account is in terms of the bonus stats that I will be getting on some of these champions. Always like to show the Great Hall so that you can kind of get an idea of how that is behind the scenes. Something a lot of people forget to include when they go over a Clan Boss team, and it usually is the biggest reason why your Clan Boss team does not perform as well as the ones you see in videos that you try to emulate. So just to kind of give you an idea there, you can see the bonuses. We have a lot in the Void section because we do have 2 Man-Eaters and a Painkeeper on our Clan Boss team. We had a little bit here in Spirit as well because we were running Mother Superior as the speed lead for our kind of hybrid Bat-Eater comp that we had before. And then Magic also, we have a couple up here because we do have Seeker in that comp as well. And now we're also going to be bringing in a new Magic champion on the team, so that kind of helps a little bit. We do have some medals up here we could be investing in, but unfortunately we are saving those for Clan versus Clan, which probably will come out next week. But let's go ahead and take a look at the changes we have made. And of course, the new addition to the team is Dracomorph. Got very lucky, managed to pull him, I think it was last week during the 10X. I actually wasn't even trying to pull in the 10X. I just needed to get points to finish off the fusion, and I pulled 1 Sacred Shard and I got Draco. So as soon as I got him, I was like, all right, we're going to change up the Clan Boss team. He's one of the best Clan Boss champions in the game, just a great champion overall in the Lizardmen faction. And I'll kind of show you how I have him built here and go over his skills real quick here, to kind of tell you why he's so good for the Clan Boss. The main thing is this Baleful Eye ability, which puts the weaken debuff and a decreased debuff, defense debuff on the Clan Boss for 2 turns, basically. You're going to get a ton of extra damage just from having this in your Unkillable comp, especially if you're running the Bat-Eater. And then he has this Poison Jaws attack, which attacks 4 times at random. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff for 3 turns. So you're basically going to be able to put 4 5% poisons on the Clan Boss basically every time he uses this ability. And then he's got his A1, which damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. This actually hits pretty hard on the Clan Boss. I've seen this hit for well over 100k, and the gear that I have him in, which isn't great. Keep in mind, my account's more of a mid-late game account where our gear is going to reflect that, so we're not going to have like the most amazing gear on these champions that we're about to take a look at. But let's go ahead and take a look at how we have him built here. So we put him in a perception, 2 perception sets, and a speed set, mainly because I wanted to hit the speed that I needed him to be in. Draco is the DPS in this Bat-Eater comp, and his speed needed to fall within the range of 221 to 227. I'll put the speeds of all the champions down below in a pinned comment so you guys can see that in case you're curious about this composition. But you see here's overall stats. Actually, when I'm running a Poisoner, and I also wanted to kind of build him a little bit for other areas of the game like Faction Wars and Dungeons, we went more for attack and accuracy on him. So we want him to be able to land those poisons on Ultra Nightmare. So he is at 251 accuracy. We have him at almost 5,000 attack. I wanted to get as much attack on him as possible. And then we also have him at 36,000 HP. His defense is not bad. He actually has a pretty decent base defense for an attack champion of 1,046. So with our Great Hall bonuses and everything else, we're able to get him in a pretty decent spot there. So that's kind of his general stats there. Obviously we could bump his crit rate up to get more damage, but really most of his damage is going to be coming from his poison. That's what we want from him. And he does do a lot of damage, even in this gear of mine that I have is not super amazing. He does do a really good amount of damage, as you will see. Okay, so the rest of the comp is basically the same. We did have to retune everybody to get them in line. And unfortunately with my fast Man-Eater, we did get him up to, he's at 267 now. But we had to take off his crit rate gloves and put him into this set of attack gloves, which we had got, I think got these from the Nightmare campaign. They just had the 1 speed roll on them. But this is kind of why you kind of want to keep some of this gear around and also keep your smaller speed glyphs around, is sometimes you just need to grab a piece that has an exact number of the speed you need. And in order to get him in tune, we kind of had to use these. So right now what we're doing is trying to farm up a set of crit rate gauntlets in the speed set so that we can eventually replace these. I think we got a couple from, I have some that I got from the Dragon, but unfortunately none of them actually rolled speed. So got plenty of attack gloves though. So I went with attack mainly because that at least can still help him out in the damage department, but his damage did fall off, having that crit rate drop from almost 90% down to 32. So we took a pretty big hit there. He still does a good bit of damage. The attack is right at still around 3,000. So overall not too bad, but you know, he is going to benefit from that defense down and the weaken that Draco does apply. Second Maneater, I think we were able to keep him mostly in his toxic gear. All we had to do was swap out his gloves to get his speed roll on there. We were actually able to get his crit rate up a little bit because of that, and we just swapped him into a 6-star pair of toxic boots from a 5-star pair he was in before to get a little extra speed there. So he's the slow Maneater. He is going at a speed of 240, so kind of gives you a look at him there. And then we have, of course, Seeker, who's a big part of this composition. Now we had to switch him around. We actually were able to get his crit rate up to almost 100%, which he was a little bit low in that department before. The drawback to that came in that we had to remove his toxic gloves, and so we lost the toxic set. So thankfully Draco puts out enough poison, it seems to make up for it, but at some point I do want to try to get him back into toxic gloves to see how that affects his overall damage. And then we also did have to put him into a defense banner because his rolled triple speed, and in order to hit his speed, which is 252, I had to do some moving around. So we had to take him out of his attack banner. I would eventually like to put him back in an attack banner to get his attack back up to where I kind of want it to be at. Right now it's at 2,800. We want to get these pretty much as close to 3,500 as we can. So we still have a long way to go with the gear in this composition. And then finally we do have Painkeeper, who I don't think much changed on her. I think I had to swap out maybe her gloves. I think that was it. I think everything else pretty much stayed. Maybe the shield I think I swapped out to get more, yeah, because this had a triple speed roll. But Painkeeper, we only had to bring her up like 6 speed altogether, so it really was not a challenge, and that's why I think on these gloves, she had a very low speed roll on her other gloves, so it's pretty easy just to swap that one piece out there. And you can see here she has speed at 242, and HP is 42,000. And this is also kind of, we use her in other areas of the game too, so we kind of want her to have some decent numbers. We use her in Faction Wars quite a bit. And you can see there her attack's at 2,600. So that's how we have her there. Let's take a quick look at the Masteries. I've showed these before, but just to kind of let you guys see there. Now, I'm one of the few people that actually does not take the defense tree with Painkeeper because I've had all sorts of problems tuning her for counterattack. I know a lot of people use the counterattack Masteries on her and are successful with it, but I find that you just have to tune her and Seeker so perfectly in the order. Speed-wise, I've never been able to make it work, so I just put her in the support tree and I don't worry about her counterattacking. And if you guys are kind of curious about why that is, her A1 actually does boost her turn meter, so if she counterattacks, it can throw off the tune. A lot of times if you're Unkillable with Painkeepers falling apart, it's usually because she has one of those counterattack Masteries that is throwing off her speed tune. So I don't like messing with it. That's why I just went the support tree on her straight down pretty much, so that she is just easy. And it seems like there's always issues with her anytime you change like even the most minuscule statistic on her or HP somewhere on somebody, it throws her off. So I don't like to mess with her at all. I kind of just have her in that gear and in that tune, kind of ready to go there. Now if we go to Seeker, he's pretty much in standard Masteries there. You go down, again, don't copy these blindly, but you know, this is kind of standard, what I see a lot, what I use myself. So we got the 2 counterattack Masteries basically from the defense tree to try to get the most damage. At some point I also want to try Retaliation set on some of these champions to get that extra chance for counterattack. Seems like that would be a good way to get a little bit extra damage. Both of the Maneaters, kind of the same exact Masteries, so both Maneaters and Seeker are in the same Masteries. And then Draco, we kind of went the same route, except I gave him one more in the damage tree, since I do like to use him in other areas than Clan Boss. I kind of wanted him to have that utility there, but he does have the 1 counterattack Mastery there in the defense tree. So that said, let's go ahead and jump into Clan Boss. We'll talk a little bit about the numbers we've been getting so far. I've only been running this for about 2 nights now, so it's going very well. You can see here on Ultra Nightmare, we actually have achieved a pretty easy 2-key now. For Ultra Nightmare, you just have to be at 70.2, and we're at 100.6, basically about 53 million a key. and that was running Void and I believe Magic Affinity, so we're getting just over 50 million damage now, up from about 32, so just getting Draco in this team has improved our damage by 18 million. That's how amazing he is as Clan Boss Champion, and again, not the best gear on him, certainly not in-game gear. He's got a lot of potential to continue to grow and get even better. Now Nightmare, I think we did do one key today. We did hit almost 60 million on that one key, and that was against, I think, the Void boss maybe? I don't remember for sure, but this comp struggles a little bit against the Force boss because we do have 2 Magic champions, but I did the Force boss last night and I think did 50 million on Nightmare, but then we did 59 today on them. It might have been the Magic boss we did it on, so I'm kind of excited to see when we can get to the Spirit boss how much we're going to be able to do there. But what we're going to do right now, since we are actually 47 million from completing the Nightmare boss for the clan, we're going to go ahead and just run that so we can complete that for the clan. We've already 2 keyed Ultra Nightmare. And that's kind of the other cool thing this has allowed me to do now, is I can now put 2 keys into the Nightmare boss every day, help out the clan. We've been basically 2-chesting Nightmare here as of recently. We're still working on Ultra Nightmare, but you know, making that progress as a clan, and then, you know, getting Draco in this team has now allowed me to go ahead and start helping out a little bit more there with the Nightmare boss. So let's go ahead and just jump in here. The rotation has not changed, and I'll also post that down below in case anyone is curious. The nice thing about this comp, the Bat Eater, is that it works in Nightmare, it works in Ultra Nightmare, same exact rotation. Affinity does not matter at all. So first turn, we're going to put, first Man Eater is going to pop his Unkillable. Seeker, we're just going to A1. Painkeeper, we're going to do her A3. Just A2 here on the other Man Eater. And then Draco, we're going to open up with the A3 to get that weaken and then decrease defense on the clan boss. So do A2 on first Man Eater, A2 on Seeker, do A1. We're going to do Spectacular Sweep here with Painkeeper. And then we are going to click on Auto, and that should be good to go. We should be perfectly in tune. And we're going to go ahead and watch these guys do their work here, and we'll see just how well they're able to do. Alright guys, we're coming in here on the tail end of the run. Looks like we're going to be just shy, might even hit the 60 million on this key, it looks like. And there we go, 60 million on this key. Just absolutely amazing how much of a difference having Draco in this team over Mother Superior makes. You can see how much he enables the other champions as well. We've got Man Eater coming in with 13.6 million damage, Seeker with almost 13 million damage, Dracomorph himself with 18.5 million damage. Absolutely incredible champion in this Bat Eater composition. So pretty decent key there, 60.61, and as I showed you the gear earlier, we do have a lot of room to grow with this composition. So pretty exciting. I'll go ahead and run an Ultra Nightmare run later, and I'll just put a screenshot up here to show you guys the results of that, so you can kind of see how we do there. But it looks like we have finished off Nightmare, so everybody will be able to get that 2 chests basically tomorrow from that. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna get the top chest. Hopefully we can get some sacred shards. That's what we're always going for. But that's kind of just what I wanted to show off this week. Just kind of show you the new changes we made to the clan boss team with Draco again coming into the lineup. Part of me is kind of sad to see the speed lead go. It was kind of fun making that team, building that hybrid and trying to get as much mileage out of it as we could. We did manage to get a 1-key Nightmare out of that team, which was pretty cool. But you can see just bringing Draco into our team, even in the Nightmare clan boss, was basically a gain of almost 20 million damage just from replacing that one champion. So pretty amazing what just having the right champions in these spots can do for you on your account. So pretty excited to see how far we can take this as we continually improve the gear and build up the Great Hall on this account. Hopefully the sky is the limit now with this Bat Eater clan boss team. But anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of the video. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Again, I will put the speeds for the champions down in a pinned comment, so you guys can have that if you're interested in the composition. Also put the turn order before you can click auto, so you have all that information down below. But overall, just kind of a really cool time now for my account, being able to put out this type of damage and be able to have some extra keys to put into the Nightmare boss to help out the clan. So a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, hope you found this video interesting. As always, thank you for watching. And as always, hope you guys are having a great day. And I will see you again next time.